Mama, do you ever feel like you're working harder and harder, but true time freedom where you own your time and your life are completely out of reach? Here's the truth. Time freedom doesn't just happen. It's built through intention, strategy, and alignment. And today I'm breaking down three powerful tips that will put you on the path of owning your time without burning out. Hey Mama, welcome back to the channel. Just 2 years ago, I was sitting in my home office, knee deep in work. It was probably 6 or 7 p.m., and my 14-year-old son was asking me, "When are you going to get off the computer? When are you going to stop working? Can't we do something together?" And in that moment, I had to sit back and really evaluate if the work that I was doing was still in alignment with the life that I wanted. And here's what I noticed. Over the previous 6 years, I had been building a marketing agency. I had left corporate with the sole intention to own my own time and be able to be more present with my kids. I didn't want to ask somebody to take time off for a football game or for cheerleading practice. I wanted to be able to be present. Now, the marketing agency grew to the point that it just wasn't sustainable for me to have a lot of extra time. And really, looking back, it was two major things. It was how quickly we grew, but it was also the way that we grew. I wasn't checking in and realigning my goals with the life that I wanted. This really created a lot more than just the issue of time with my kids. I also was extremely stressed out. I gained a lot of weight because I wasn't able to get out and be active. I spent the majority of my time, like we're talking like 14-hour days, in front of a computer. And I realized really quickly that I was going to have to turn things around if I wanted to have a more fulfilled life, because what I did was I left a job and ended up building myself an even more intense job. And so I needed to really reevaluate and determine how to change things so that I truly did own my time and had the flexibility to be present with my children. There's absolutely no fluff in the tips that I'm going to share in this video. They're the exact strategies and mindset shifts that separate the mamas who keep spinning from those who create lasting freedom. Tip number one, multiply your streams of income the smart way. We've all heard that the average millionaire has 7 streams of income. Now, just to clarify, this doesn't mean that they have 7 different businesses. You don't need to burn yourself out trying to manage 20 different things. You can create multiple streams of income within the business or skills that you already have and are already monetizing. Here are some examples for different types of businesses. Let's say you are a coach of some sort. You could be a fitness coach, a business coach, a life coach, and you offer one-on-one services to your clients. What are some other ways that you could multiply your streams of income? You could do this through digital products, affiliate links, or group memberships of some sort. Okay, let's say you're a service-based mama. Some of the ways you could add additional income streams to your already existing business is through templates, courses, and referral bonuses by partnering with other service providers who offer different services but to the same type of client. And let's say that you offer physical products. You could also add digital guides, subscription boxes, or collaborations with other brands. The reason why it's so important to add scalable income to your already existing business is because it really breaks that time for money ceiling that our society has sort of conditioned us to believe is the only way to make money. So when you look at typical jobs, everything is trading your time for money. Even if you're salary, you're still expected to trade a certain amount of your time for that paycheck. The difference with scalable income is it eliminates that. In so many ways, scalable income allows you to do the work one time and then get paid off of it multiple times. For the majority of my entrepreneurial journey, I have been a designer. So let's look at design from 2 different perspectives. Let's say I have a high school or college that reaches out and asks me to design a football uniform for them. Well, I do that work one time and I get paid one time. Even though I can charge more for it, let's say it takes me 3 hours and I charge them $300. That seems good, right? $100 an hour. With social media and the internet, there are so many tools and resources available for you to make scalable income. And what I learned pretty quickly was that I could use a platform like Etsy and I could design a file that took me about an hour to create and sold 150 times for around $10 to $12 and made me about $1,500 in profit for just an hour of my time. Take it a step further, I have files that I've designed that took me 10 or 15 minutes to create and have made me $700 because they've just sold so many times. Now, the price per item is less, but the overall scalable income for my time is massively, massively different. So let me ask you, would you rather work for 3 hours and make $300 or work 1 hour and make $1,500? Every product isn't right for every single business, but what I want to challenge you to do today is to come up with at least one scalable income stream that would work with your business and start creating it so that you're not always starting from zero and trading your time for money. This brings us to tip number 2. Build with vision, not with desperation. One of the biggest mistakes that I made in my marketing agency, because I was so focused on growth by any means necessary, was that I took on clients and projects that really didn't align with me, my business, or with my long-term goals. And those clients and projects, I almost always ended up regretting. With that being said, you need to build the well before you get thirsty. You cannot wait for bills to be due or some sort of crisis or family emergency to build a freedom-based business, because if you do, what you'll end up doing is having to take on work that doesn't align with you out of desperation just because you need the money. Make sure that every decision you make in your business, you're aligning it with your long-term vision. So let me give you an example, because everybody's vision, idea of success, ideal business is different. There is not a one size fits all. So let's say you really desire to travel with your children full time. Well, don't start a business that requires one-on-one work. And if you are already in a business that requires one-on-one work, you need to start moving away from that and figuring out how to best serve your clients while still aligning with your vision. One of the best questions that you can ask yourself as you make decisions about the services and products you're going to offer is, does this support the life that I want 5 years from now? Does it move me closer to that life or further away from it? And if the answer is it moves you further away from it, you need to reevaluate and figure out a better way. Let's look at the real differences between desperate decision making and aligned decision making. Desperate decision making looks like saying yes to everybody, doing work that drains you, and short-term hustle that very quickly leads to burnout. Let's contrast that with aligned decision making, which is extremely intentional and sometimes can feel a little slower to get started, but the real power here is that it compounds into very sustainable work. The best thing that I ever did for my children, myself, my mental health, was to slow everything down, get rid of the parts of my business that were really not aligned with the life that I was creating. What that has done for me over the course of the last year is it has allowed me to have really unlimited time to be present for my children. I can always show up. I don't have to make excuses because of work. I'm able to do things for myself, like take care of my health, my body, my fitness, and do more projects that are really aligned with my purpose and fill me with so much gratitude, like this YouTube channel. I'm here today as the living proof to tell you that the slower, more aligned path is the fastest way to having freedom in your life. That brings us to tip number 3, mastering your time. Because the fact of the matter is, Even when you have more time, there are still non-negotiable things you have to do every day. I still work. I just work in a very different, more intentional way where I am putting time and effort into the things that have the biggest results for the life that I'm creating. If you're already an entrepreneur, one of the pitfalls you know that we fall into is trying to do everything and be everything in our business. So I'm going to show you the quickest way to reevaluate and fix this. I want you to grab a piece of paper and a pen, turn it landscape wise, and make 3 columns. At the top of the first column, you're going to put $10. The top of the second, $100, and the top of the third, $1,000. I want you to think of these columns as buckets. What you're going to do is you're going to think of all the tasks you do on a daily basis, and you're going to put them in either the $10, $100, or $1,000 bucket. And this is how you're going to do it. In the $10 bucket, you're going to take all of the tasks that really anybody could do. So this is going to be things like data entry, Canva graphics, email cleanup. Those type of tasks is what I would consider $10 tasks. Then we're going to move to the $100 bucket. And the tasks that go here are the ones that are a little bit more tactical. So this would be like contact writing, basic client outreach, what else did I have? Oh, admin tasks. Those things go in the $100 bucket. And then the $1,000 task is where you put all of the CEO level tasks. So this is the tasks that go towards the vision, networking opportunities, business partnership considerations, scalable offer creations. Those are $1,000 tasks. Once you're finished filling out the buckets, I want you to look at this paper and be really, really honest with yourself and ask this question. Am I spending the majority of my time on the $10 tasks or on the $1,000 tasks? Because the problem in most businesses, when business owners are feeling overwhelmed, burnt out on a hamster wheel, is they're spending way too much time on the $10 tasks and even sometimes the $100 tasks. Because this may be an unpopular opinion, but the $10 tasks are busy work. They are not something that a business owner should be doing. Now, I know you're going to say, well, Erica, they still need to get done. How am I going to do them? Now, the goal of this exercise and the challenge I have for you with this tip is to look at your $10 tasks and determine what can I outsource or automate. So with the invention of AI, which is obviously taking the world by storm right now, there are so many tools and resources out there where you can automate a lot of the things that keep you stuck and busy in your business. On the flip side, you could also outsource some of these tasks and maybe even some of the $100 tasks to something like a virtual assistant. Now, the important part here is baby steps. Don't get overwhelmed. Don't take on costs that you can't absorb, but really look at it and figure out. Start with automation first and outsourcing second. And what that's going to do is as you automate the $10 task, it's going to free up more of your time for the $100 and $1,000 tasks. And as you focus more on those and your business grows, then you work on replacing the $100 tasks or outsourcing them. That is going to free up your time to focus solely on the $1,000 tasks, which as a business owner is where your focus should be the majority of the time, because you are really the visionary that is going to keep your business going and bring it to life. You don't want to bog down all of your mental and physical energy with busy work that could be handed off to a resource or maybe outsourced to a virtual assistant. The best decision I ever made for myself and my business was to hire an assistant. And I did this with a virtual assistant. It was not somebody local to me. But what she was able to do was not only take over all of the smaller tasks that were like busy work and kind of just taking up my time and draining my energy, but on a day-to-day, especially entrepreneurs, especially if you're a creative person, you have a million ideas at all times. So one of the things that I used to really struggle with is I would have these great ideas during the day when I was busy with other things, but I never had the opportunity to implement them because I forgot about them. By the time I had the time to sit down and think about them. And so once I hired an assistant, when I had those ideas, I could just shoot her a message with them. If it was something that she could take ownership of, she would. But if it wasn't, it's something she would bring to our weekly meetings, remind me, and we could create a plan to make sure that it got implemented. So what it really did was it allowed my execution of ideas to shoot way up. I wish I had an exact number of the improvement in efficiency that I had once I hired an assistant. If you'd like to see a video on how I determined the best type of virtual assistant and how I found mine, just drop a comment below. Mama, I want you to know that delegation is not just for millionaires. It's not just for these ultra rich, successful people. If you would like to grow your business and master your time, you will need to use resources like automations, outsourcing, to create a more efficient workflow that will allow you to get more done in less time. Mama, you can do this by focusing on multiple streams, having vision over desperation, and valuing your time. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe and join us for more freedom-focused business tips. We'll see you in the next video.